Okay, so let's just start our meeting. We can find out what's new with us, and then we can learn about USA maybe later in the week. So let's start. So we have just our meeting reminders just to keep it a little bit clean for when we upload it, just because sometimes Zoom does some weird things when it's recording. So just keep your mics and videos muted unless when you're speaking. If you want to share your lovely faces, please do. There's a chat box. If you have questions along the way, you can type them in. And then if you actually want to speak, again, just type in the chat box, and then you can unmute yourself and chat with everyone else. Is there like a weird pink line on everyone's screen?
Yep.
I feel like I might have like hit a button.
That's your cat.
That said to like, oh, here we go. Okay, sorry. There we go. I apparently drew on the screen. So our meeting agenda for tonight is we're going to do some news and updates with the website, the books, media, and funding. We'll also talk a bit about One Small Town, both globally and Canada status. We were hoping to give some updates on USA, but we weren't able to get into the meeting. So we'll send the link to everyone once we get it, and you guys can watch it on your own time. And then going through again how you can get involved with UBUNTU Canada, whether it's a supporter or a volunteer. We'll share our new kind of core team and how you can join us if you're interested in being part of the management team. And then we'll end with questions and when our next meeting is. So we'll let Duncan talk a bit about the website. I can turn it. There we go.
There we go. Okay. Yeah, so the Ubuntu International website will be on the latest by next Saturday, maybe even sooner than that. So that'll be really good because it'll have, well, basically right now, at least that I've seen it as of today, it has USA and Canada, but there will be other countries there as time goes on. So then we'll have, we can have that Ubuntu main website for our address, and then they can click on Canada, and everybody will be funneled through there, and we'll have the click-ons for the volunteering and everything. So it's all nice and clean, and there's one spot. So I think that'll be really good. And also in there, marketing information and presentations and all kinds of really interesting stuff. And there is a section on, depending which country you're in, for example, when you go, I guess we could, do this in our next meeting when we can look at it, but we probably would have all looked at it by then. But there's a section where it has like events and news, and if you sign up under Ubuntu Canada and you click on news, it'll just have news from Canada. It won't have anything from anywhere else. So it's definitely geared for us. So, and that's all filtered. All Jeremy's done this. So it's very, very well done. So, and there's a Canada specific homepage. If any of you guys feel so inclined, it would be great if we could put, that's one thing that I did miss. I just heard about it briefly in the USA meeting. I think Star, who is the head coordinator in USA, had done a very nice opening for their website for Ubuntu USA. So I may do one, but it's not to say anybody else that comes up with something, let's all see if we can come up with something that would, when we go to the Ubuntu Canada webpage, that it explains what we're all about, and that'd be great. So we can maybe filter, you guys can have them in by the end of the week, and we can go through them and choose one, and that'd be great. So our temporary website is still there, and it shows all the volunteer positions and everything that's still open, and that's ubcanada@weebly.com. And if Carmen, you can switch the.
Here we go.
Oops. Okay, and the books right now, we're gonna get a few books brought in. So we're still looking for distributors. discounts are available for bulk purchases, but if you're purchasing to sell them, they're $20 Canadian per book. So that will cover Michael's share, a small portion for Ubuntu Canada, and the shipping cost to get it up here. And I was talking actually with David this morning, and he's got a couple of potential Canadian publishers that we're going to follow up with. So that will hopefully bring the price down if we're lucky. And so we'll pursue that. So we're going to go with a retail price in Canada of $30, which will cover. So whoever's doing the distribution will make a little money on that too. But if you want to find out more, just send us an email at Ubuntu Canada coordinators, and we'll get that underway. Yeah, so that's basically that one. Sorry, I kind of skipped the second line there.
Are you good? Moving on?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll give a little bit of an update on some of our media platforms. So the Ubuntu Tribute, I'm going to be sending out on Tuesday with the links for this meeting, and I'm going to do that moving forward. So that way, when you get the newsletter, you'll be able to link and watch the meetings. And still looking for people if you want to write like some type of inspiring article, something that you'd like people to read. I'm going to make a deadline for the last day of every month, and then it'll go in the next submission, and that'll just give me time to format it, because it takes some time and need to figure out in the week when I can do it. But one thing that I think would be cool is maybe if depending on how you feel writing, I'd like to show a little column about why each of us are in Ubuntu, kind of what it means to us and what brought us here. I think that might be nice and inspiring for other people to read, and maybe encourage them to join as well. There's also a Facebook page, so Ubuntu Planet Canada, that was created by Shabnam, but we still need somebody who is interested in managing the social media aspect of things. So somebody who likes to post or even share posts from other Ubuntu sites as well. So if you're interested in that, please let us know. And then we've got some media ideas from other members. So Donnie had last month proposed having a podcast for people to listen to, but he's since some other things have come up in his life, so he's not able to do that anymore. But if anyone else wants to take that on, please let us know. And then Kevin also talked about the idea of doing a documentary, which also sounds really cool. So if there's anyone out there who would be interested in taking that on, please let us know. It's not really in my area of expertise, but I'm sure there's someone out there who that's kind of their skill and talent, which would be awesome. And funding. So this one's pretty important. If you guys are on Michael's email list, probably have received an email from him talking about kind of his critical need for support at this point in time. So apparently his funding has dropped from $3,000 per month to $900, which really isn't enough for everything that he's doing. He's putting all of his time and money into this initiative, and I think he's relying a lot on us too, because we want this to become a reality, to aid in that. So he had said that his idea would be that having $10,000 a month would be what he would need to run the global office successfully. There's a lot of people, if we want this to happen at the scale that we want it to happen, I think that need to be hired and paid. They'll need to do it on a full-time basis. So he had mentioned in his email that if he had 100 people who could afford to donate $100 per month, that would do it. But also even just more people, like 1,000 people, just giving smaller amounts would do it as well. So I would encourage all of you to go to the website that we have listed here, that's Michael's website, and sign up for a monthly donation or a one-time donation. I know we maybe aren't always in a position to help financially, but I do believe very strongly that when you do something like this, if you were to donate, then you're really putting your thoughts into action. It's easy for us to say that we'd want to live in this type of world, an Ubuntu world, but I think until we start actively doing things, will it actually manifest. So even if it's $3 or $1 or $5 or whatever you can afford, what you'd be telling the universe is that you believe in this and you want this to happen. And I think that's really important for all of us to do at this point in time. And then some of our other members had talked about other ideas. So rather than just a monthly contribution, that I'm sure there's other fundraising things that we can do to raise money. And I'm going to open it up to the floor if anyone has some ideas of what we could do. I'm not sure, Marilyn, if you have any ideas. I know you had sent me an email, but anyone, do you guys have any thoughts or ideas of what we could do?
This is Marilyn. Can you hear me?
I can.
Okay, good. Well, our group is going to discuss it as well when we do meet again, but the first idea that came from me is there's a lot of Facebook groups for Ubuntu. And in fact, I just got an email from Calgary. They're trying to, you know, I couldn't believe it. They have quite a few people there, and I went, Calgary, that's 3 hours away from me. Just trying to hook up with all the people who've just even signed up to different Ubuntu groups, right?
Yep.
And so I'm willing to do that, and just saying, what can we do to help and gather ideas and suggest that we all make it a priority. So that was one idea that came to me.
That's great. That's excellent. The more people who know, and then I think the more people who can help. So that's an awesome idea. Good find. Anyone else have any ideas? Well, nothing right now, but we can think on it. And Marilyn has been kind enough to kind of collect everyone's ideas and maybe put them into something that we can use. So if you do have some fundraising ideas that you want to share, you can send it to Marilyn's email, which I've put on the slide, and everyone will get PDFs of these slides. So you'll have access to this if you aren't able to write it down right now.
Cool. Awesome.
Hey, thank you, Marilyn.
You're welcome.
So now Duncan's going to talk a bit just about the One Small Town initiative and where we're at with that globally.
Yeah, so basically it started about a month ago now. And the One Small Town website, which you see there, and there's also a Canadian website that's actually funnels directly to the donation page, which right now is sitting at $5,000. They're looking for a goal of $25,000, and the idea to use that money is for fine-tuning the blueprints and expanding the One Small Town strategies. So basically, what would happen is if a town had the prerequisites for a One Small Town in Ubuntu, and their leadership is interested, they would meet with our group, and we would put them in touch with some experts, and they would experts in food and shelter and energy and that kind of thing. And we're still putting this together. So that's where this money's going, to find those people and get the structures in place so that we're able to react quickly, because right now we're not reacting quickly at all. But it's in the works. And because we're doing this on an international scale, we want to make sure, again, that we're taking one small step at a time to make sure we're doing it. It's going to do it right, and it's going to work everywhere. So definitely donate whatever you can. Share it with family and friends. You can make a donation on that canada.onesmalltown.org. And depending on how much you donate, there are also gifts for donations at various levels, just like BBS. Anyway, well, if I have any more updates in the meantime, I'll pass them along.
Perfect, thank you. And then, so we also have some news about Canada on more of a local level, and we have a team of people who've been working on a community here in Ontario in the county of Frontenac, and Cindy's going to give us some updates on that. So you have the floor, Cindy. Might need to see if she's muted.
Oh, okay. How's that?
You're good. Yep, we can hear you.
Okay. No, I'm going to say a little bit, and then David's going to talk as well. I'm just wondering, do we have any new people on the call who don't know what we're up to? I haven't heard anything of what we're up to, and we need to go from the beginning, or is everyone up to date?
I think there are a couple. I see Shirley Walsh.
Yes, I'm new. I'd like to you to start from the beginning if it doesn't take too long.
Okay, so
You want me to start, Cindy?
that's where David will jump in. Yeah.
So before I knew of Ubuntu or contributionism or anything like that, I was developing a plan for a subdivision or community of earthships. I'm not going to get too into earthships, but they're completely self-contained, self-sustainable, gorgeous homes. And since learning of Ubuntu and contributionism, I've combined the two ideas because these buildings allow for there's no need for infrastructure to them, which brings down any kind of new development cost. And they're completely in line with contributionism and Ubuntu, as far as I can tell. I actually am still reading the contributionism book, and I scanned through it today, and on page 306 and 307, Michael's going to think I stole his idea, but he has almost the exact same community layout, circular layout that I've drawn up. He has a picture of the Phoenix Earthship right below that, which happens to be my son's middle name for that reason, or that's one of the reasons it's Phoenix. And we found I accidentally emailed the wrong mayor. I didn't know Frontenac County was broken into 3 pieces, and I had a piece of land in Central Frontenac that would have suited the project, and I contacted North Frontenac. The mayor of North Frontenac asked me if I could come in and do a presentation to him and the council, and the last things they said was they will do anything they can to support this project and amend any bylaws within their power to make this project go ahead. Right now, the last thing the mayor has said to me is he has his feelers out for land and investors. He has contacted me about 100 acres. We're looking for 350. So he's going to find out if we can buy the land around it. People and municipalities can also purchase crown land if it benefits the municipality. So if we can find a piece of crown land that suits us, the municipality will buy it for us. The last thing he asked me was to rearrange the 2 documents that I presented him with, which is a business plan and a first phase plan, and rearrange them into, what was his wording? Value proposition or return on investment. You know what? I'm good at building airships. I'm good at building subdivisions. I don't know how to format documents like this. So if anybody has skills in this area, get a hold of, well, Cindy's info is up there. I hope she doesn't mind, but I'm going to say get a hold of Cindy to help us format this into something business people might be more used to looking at rather than the words that just flow out of my brain onto the paper. Yes, we do have one new team member, and all of us have been meeting every week going over all the documents. We've started keeping Duncan and Carmen up to date on what we've been doing. And right now, really what we need to do is get a proper format for investors to look at. We have the 2 documents with all the information. They're just not in a format that investors might be used to looking at. And take it away, Cindy.
Okay, that was great, David. Thanks. So I was, wondering about, we have a bunch of people who are on this meeting. Do any other people want to get involved in assisting? And one of the ways that can happen is we want to get the word out to as many people as possible as to what we're doing. Of course, that's what we all want in Ubuntu, right? But we have a business plan, and Duncan and Carmen have both seen it. And what we're doing within the group, but it'd be great if everyone was doing it, is thinking of people that it would resonate with, or that they may want to move into the community, or want to, invest into the community, or they may know people, that want to become involved, and just sending it out, because the information is basically all there. And I guess depending from, if anyone is interested, there's a second document, there's a map, and there will be what David was talking about, the investor package, or, whatever the terminology is for it, that, we can send out as well. So that's something that we're wondering about. And also, the other thing we're wondering about is the best way to communicate what we're doing with the group. Does everyone need to know, all the details, or do we just do updates at meetings, or just update Carmen and Duncan? Do we put it on Dropbox? Just kind of trying to figure out what the best way is to make sure that everyone's in the loop, but we're not overdoing it where people are getting emails and it's just getting annoying and that type of thing. So maybe we can brainstorm on that and come up with some ideas for it.
Yeah. Cindy, I noticed that you sent through, do you have more to say, or?
No, that's it.
Okay. I noticed that you had sent the proposal to Brandon Shelton and Michael to see what their feedback is, and that's certainly very important, because in talking with David and so on, it's very much, the contribution is inside, you can see it, but again, all the talk of the one small town as far as Ubuntu is concerned is to convert existing communities, because the infrastructure exists. So this is a much more expensive option, but I certainly don't want to downplay it, because the passion is there, and it's certainly could be a very exciting community to live in. But that being said, the efforts that Michael and Brandon have been involved with the crowdfunding and finding experts and everything is all based on converting a existing community that has buildings and roads and sewers and power and all that stuff. So we'll wait, and I think if you're okay, we'd just like wait and see what they say. But I'm thinking, as far as your communication, it might be good just to send an email, if you can get emails to everybody that's on this call, and ask them, would you like updates? And then, just kind of keep your own database for now. Because until, we hear from Michael or Brandon that, this is Ubuntu, we want to jump in, but it's so very different. I think just from that one aspect, that it's a brand new community that you're starting from scratch, as opposed to an existing one. It's a very different set of circumstances. Just for example, looking at building a community from scratch, and it's in a very rural area, and there's just a huge marketing component to that. There's a marketing component to the Ubuntu existing community as well, but people live there, and they know the community, they relate to the community. This is something brand new, and it's going to need a lot of effort in things that I don't know that any Ubuntu people have thought about. So just sort of a word of caution on that.
Can I respond to that, Duncan? I see a question by Shirley as well.
Sure.
So this is a brand new development in between two existing towns to join them together. Michael talks about, this is for Shirley, Michael does talk about not creating closed communities or sustainable communities. This is, yes, it's sustainable, but it's not closed. The whole of North Frontenac will function for whoever wants to participate under contributionism. This is for the expansion and growth of the area, because it will require new infrastructure, new buildings, new homes, new businesses when contributionism starts here. And that's another aspect that the council and the mayor really wants to address. Their population has been going down for the last 10 years, and they want to draw people back to this area. So this is not a separate thing. This is simply a new development for people that are going to be moving there, but the existing businesses and the existing towns within the municipality of North Frontenac are all taking part in contributionism. You don't have to be in this community to reap the benefits. This will just be the newest development within this area. And on page, I have the digital version, on page 306 and 307 of the community design that Michael has drawn out. Again, he's going to think I stole his. He talks about how we need, with the existing community, we need to be able to expand, and he has drawn out a circular community that keeps adding on to the next area. So the land that I'm really looking at is in between the two biggest towns in the area. It's not a new standalone sustainable community. That's the way I used to think, and that's why I really appreciate that I've learned about contributionism and Ubuntu. Now it can join, and this is just a new development because this idea will draw people out to this area. I have a presentation for an Earthship group on the 26th. There's going to be 75 people there in an auditorium. They all are very familiar with Earthship, so this 3-hour presentation is going to be on contributionism, North Frontenac, how the council is excited to work with us for the new development, and contributionism, which is actually what I believe is the key point Michael tries to put across. If you don't have council and mayor that are going to support you, the odds of getting elected or trying to get something like this through is not going to happen. We have the mayor and the council that want to support this. They want to do this. Yes, it is smaller than his 2,000 to 7,000 recommended size, but that's just an idea. Nobody has done this yet. We don't know what size is the optimal starting point for the one small town.
Well, I guess we'll just wait and see what they have to say.
I think, yeah, I think it's hard to wrap, maybe for a lot of people who are used to Michael's book and philosophy, it's hard to wrap our minds around the idea of a different way. But that's why I think this team sent their blueprints to Michael and Brandon, was to get their thoughts and opinions. And I did encourage them to contact them to see if maybe there's a way that they can help each other. You know, maybe some ideas that this team has come up with would help Brandon and Michael, and vice versa. And even though it's a different approach, I mean, we'll keep it open until we hear from everyone and what their thoughts are. I think that the fact that the mayor and the council is on board is very exciting. And in terms of communication, because a lot of you guys on this team have joined up for like core management roles within Ubuntu as a whole, I think communication-wise, what I was envisioning is we can all get together next week sometime and we can kind of converse together on a weekly basis, so that when we come together at a meeting, then we can all say something about what we're working on. So I think communication will get better. This last month's been, Duncan and I have really just been trying to track everyone down to see where everyone is. And now that we have, you know, a group of people who are committed to kind of managing this, I think next month will be much smoother. So I think for now, it's exciting, and we just have to wait to see what unfolds, I guess. You never want to say no to anything. And I mean, once we get feedback from Michael and Brandon, then we can take it from there. Does everyone kind of agree with that?
Yep.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's cool. We'll see. Thank you for updating us on what you guys have been doing. And then now we'll just move into other ways that people can participate, which is, you know, there's a couple different levels. Like some people want to support the Ubuntu movement, but maybe don't have the time to commit to a volunteer or a management position. And there's lots of things that we can do on a daily basis to make this happen. And again, I really want to focus on taking action. I think oftentimes we like to just think about how we want the world to be different, but until we take action and do something about it, which is why I, you know, really admire what our team has done for the Frontenac and working together, is they are taking active steps to make something happen. And I think that we should understand like how important that is. And I'm very appreciative to them for doing that, because sometimes it's hard to take those steps. So if you maybe feel uncomfortable talking about Ubuntu, then maybe you could just invite somebody to come to a meeting, or maybe when they're over at your house, you could put on an episode of Michael Tillinger's Hidden Origins to open it up. If you're a little bit more proactive, then I would suggest maybe making a little meetup group in your area, a handful of people or 10 people to get together to talk about it. You can volunteer for a project. We'll be giving some lists and a couple slides of things that we could use people to do. There's also the Ubuntu community, which is on the main website. It's like a giant connector where you can sign in and you can see people who are in your area. So it might be easier to contact those people and send them a message through there to see if they want to meet up sometime at a coffee shop or a library to talk about Ubuntu. What are some other ways we have here? Oh, I clicked on the website. My apologies. Okay, ta-da. That's the temporary website. So you can, we'll eventually have like a sign up button on the website once it launches, but in the next week, if you know anyone who would want to receive updates or invitations to these meetings or to get the newsletter, you can send an email to kind of our joint email address here, and we'll add you to the mailing list. Follow us on Facebook, Ubuntu Canada. There isn't anything really happening at this point, but hopefully someone will come forward, and if not, I'll do my best to post some stuff as regularly as I can. I'm really not a social media person, so I apologize if it's few and far between, but if anyone else is more social media savvy and are on there often, please let me know. Love the help. Again, become a book distributor. Duncan talked about how important it is, one, to support Michael and here at the head office, but you could make a little bit of money for you as well on the side. So it's kind of a win-win-win all around, and a good way to spread the message and to talk to people. And then also using the energy of intention through the medium of money. It's a really nice way of saying that your donations really are an action, really are spreading the message through the universe that you want this to happen, you believe in it, and that you're willing to put some money towards it, because it will cost money to get to the point where we don't need it anymore. In terms of volunteers, we've got a whole fun list of things right now that you can do. So there's still the One Small Town videos, which 95% of it is already perfect. It's just, I think there's a couple of slides at the beginning and the end which show the Ubuntu USA logo, which might resonate a little bit more with people here in Canada if we could alter that to be the Canadian logo instead. USA has a bunch of marketing material that we can use, but again, to be slightly adapted to be Canadian. Cindy has offered to start to work on that, but I'm sure she would love more people to participate. So if you are on this call looking for something to do, that's something that you can do as well. Create a workshop like the meetup. Maybe you could share Michael Tillinger's season 2 of Hidden Origins. It's 8 episodes, which goes into contributionism for about an hour each time. It's pretty eye-opening, and then you can maybe have a discussion group afterwards. Again, social media posts, people like to have things on a regular basis. So if there's anyone who would be interested in that, you can help with the One Small Town business plan. You can write an article for the tributes. Always like new articles. We're looking at the One Small School. So if you're interested in homeschooling or alternative schooling, if you have ideas for how we could get that going. Again, with alternative healing and world healthcare systems, maybe we can work on creating a better system for healthcare as a whole. And if you have any other ideas at all, please let us know. Open to any new cool ideas that you want to work on and you want to do. And Duncan's going to introduce our new core team members. I'll just put them all up here for you.
Okay, so yeah, Michael kind of runs the thing. And in Canada, Carmen and I are I guess, holding the reins. And after speaking with, sending emails out to all the people that were originally signed up, and a lot of them have, for one reason or another, have gone into volunteer mode or just email lists. So that's fine. So where we have now the One Small Town project manager will be John White, with just a note that David is going to be working on the the Earthship area in Frontenac. Cindy Roberts will handle community projects, and I know she'll be able to assist John in as things go forward with initiatives with the One Small Town as well. Sujiwa has stepped up to say he'll be our accounting manager. Elizabeth Spence will handle volunteers. So as things come up, I think we've already had some conversation about Cindy being able to funnel people that she comes into over to Elizabeth, and just start that dialogue on a more regular basis, so that you just get used to looking at the names and once a week type of thing, and see where we can help people get started. And Marilyn has stepped up to be our healthcare ambassador. Has had a long history in the healthcare system, and certainly great experiences, and she has some really, really good ideas to take us forward.
All right, and now, oh, that was weird. Okay.
Okay, so still looking for quite a lot of people here. Director of Public, well, you can just have a look at it there yourself. If anybody has any interest or knows of any people that would be interested in taking on those roles, you can still see the descriptions on our temporary website, and soon that will be migrated to the new website next week or shortly thereafter. So lots of opportunities to get involved.
I also just wanted to make a quick note for everyone on the core team that Jeremy has a space for us on the website, which will show our lovely faces and our names and what our roles are. So if you guys can send me a headshot, like kind of the shoulders up, to add to that website sometime this week, that would be excellent. Hopefully no one's camera shy. And then, oh, Q&A session, which is exciting. I know that one of the members wants to speak. Does anyone have any questions before that?
I do.
Okay, keep going.
Okay, couple questions. These are that $5,000 that we already have toward the 25,000 goal. Is that all Canadians who have donated to Michael Tellinger, or is that something else?
No, actually, we can ask the question. That's internationally, but it's basically coordinated through the Ubuntu USA. But
okay.
The reason that they created that Ubuntu Canada, I can't remember what it was, but the Canadian onesmalltown.org, that was created so that if Canadians donate, we'll be able to see how many did. Yeah.
Awesome.
So I will ask that question just out of curiosity, and I'll let you know.
Secondly, the book distributor thing, that just really piqued my interest when I was listening this time, and I think David was telling me I needed to get involved in that. Can I just ask you later, like in an email, what would be all involved in that?
Mm-hmm. Sure.
Yeah, please.
Okay, I'll do that. And then lastly, what did I just have here? Darn. Oh, actually, I volunteered for the education part, because the whole alternative school. But obviously, I can't do all these jobs on my own, just like you guys can. So I just want to say that I've also been researching that as well, right? Getting the whole Ubuntu school going. That's my real passion of mine.
Oh, thank you. That's so exciting.
Yeah, and I said I would help out in the healthcare only because I've been so many years in it. But whatever, I love both. So those are my passions.
Perfect. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, Stephen, did you want to give a little share? I know you had sent me a message just asking if you could update everyone on who you are and what you and your partner have been up to. Sorry, I don't know what I did.
Yes,
Yes,
I would. Thank you very much.
No problem.
All right. Well, I wrote this down earlier so I wouldn't trip over my tongue. And so my name is Stephen Usebi. And I would like to thank Carmen, Duncan, and all the others who have put the energy into making this happen. I very much appreciate your efforts. Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome. I'd like to make everyone aware of my partner and I, where we live, and the opportunities that are waiting to be taken advantage of and created. It is an amazing, beautiful place called Karamias in the Similkameen Valley. We are 4 hours east of Vancouver, 1 hour, 45 minutes south of Kelowna, and 40 minutes north of the Washington state border. Corson is a town 5 minutes from us, and it is the organic capital of Canada. We have the mountains in the Cathedral Lakes Provincial Park for hiking, the Similkameen River for floating and fishing, Apex Mountain and Nickel Plate Nordic Center for skiing. There is an art society, which Norma, my partner, belongs to, a fitness center, weights, 5-pin bowling, climbing wall, racquetball, squash, lots of things to do here. So we have a contracting company that we do renovations, additions. We also design and install shade sails. I'm going to send a link right after this to our contracting company. You can have a look at our website, see more of a profile of who we are, what we've done, where we've been, testimonies, very important. So check out our testimonies. Also, from our house, we have a half acre and we're surrounded by orchards. We are surrounded by vineyards. This is a tourist mecca where we live. We are on Airbnb, Karamias, Middle Bench, B&B. People, I'll put that link up too. Check out the testimonies, check out the reviews. Check out our place, because I'm inviting you all serious people who want to come and see what this place has to offer and the opportunities that could be created here. When we came in a year and a half ago, I said to Norma, this is the place that everybody says that, you wish that you knew 30 years ago. This is a complete jewel, absolutely stunningly beautiful, with farms from small acres, 10 to 20 acres apiece, organic and non-organic, that could be purchased. It could be, collectively purchased, or one person could move in. We are literally surrounded by farms, vineyards, and it's absolutely beautiful. So I'm going to put the links up. I want to introduce myself. Please contact me through my email. Go to my website, and anybody who would like to come and experience the place, it is called the California of Canada, because we are, again, at the end of the Sonoma Desert, and the temperatures in the summer go to 40 to 45 degrees. It's absolutely unbelievable. So that's what I wanted to say, and thank you for the time.
Can I just ask you a quick question, Stephen?
Absolutely.
Do you think, are you bringing this up because you think this place would be a good spot for like a one small town initiative?
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Perfect.
And this is what, and through my B&B, I talk to people all the time. We get into really deep conversations if they will go there. And I put this to them as well, because I see a lot of people who have enthusiasm and they just kind of caught in the trap. And I tell them, there's a lot of opportunity for creative people to be here, especially like for us. We are looking for other carpenters, licensed electricians who could work with our company. And there's, in this town, it's crying, begging for a great restaurant. We got Highway 3 that runs right through, and it would just be perfect for a really good restaurant. We have Thai and we have Indian, but we don't have basic good restaurant, and so much more. If anybody wants to contact me, and we could discuss it much, much further. So yes, that's what I'm trying to express, is that I'd like more people to come and take it from that angle, and just populate the place with good-hearted, enthusiastic, energetic people. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Well, and you're going to put the links up, right? If you can.
I will. I'm going to do that right now.
Yeah.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes.
Have you had any communication with the mayor or any of the politicians in the town?
Yeah, that was my question too.
Yeah, no, I have not. That is like, it's not me. I do things differently. I just go, like, I worked in travel for 27 years all over the world. And I finally found a place where I could actually put all the skills and talents and resources that I've accumulated, and my partner the same. She's incredibly talented in so many ways that we're able to put all that together and make things from a grassroots from ourselves. It's not my style to go to a politician or go to somebody and try to convince them, and I'd rather just build it from where I am and outward. And anybody who wants to join us, they're very welcome to come and see and talk to us and see what's going on. Come and have a little vacation. Come and experience the place. Find out who we are, and see if that resonates with you. Yeah, so no, short answer, no. I have not communicated to any mayor or anybody at that level. And again, it's not really the direction that I am comfortable going with, and go. So I go through it in a different direction. Yes.
Stephen, how big is your town?
Norma, how big is our town? Come on.
Kermius and Costin
Yeah,
is 2,000?
2,000 people?
Kermius and Costin.
2,000 people. Caramelius and Corson is about 2,000 people. But we're,
There's
again,
lot
a
of
main
people in
route
outlying
from
areas.
Vancouver to Osoyoos, which is a big hot
Bonus.
destination. So, and we probably have, I have never looked it up, but I would suspect that we have the most fruit and veggie markets in anywhere in Canada, because it's all growing organic and food over here, and the wineries, and it's just really awesome. So anybody who,
Thank you.
you're welcome. Thank you. Thank you for the time.
Sounds nice.
Does sound nice. I kind of want to go on a vacation now.
Yeah, well, you're all welcome. Check out the B&B, and we have plenty of room. If the rooms are taken up, we got space in the back 40.
Oh, perfect. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Does anyone else have any questions or just things that they want to say? Any updates, maybe where other people are?
Yeah, I'd just like to address the question, has the mayor read the Ubuntu book? This man did not become mayor of North Frontenac because he doesn't do his research. Initially, I sent him the Earthship website and a 3-hour video of one of Michael Tellinger's presentations, and he had a list of questions for me after that to make sure I wasn't scamming him, some kind of Ponzi scheme, someone trying to sell something. So this mayor really, I'm sure in his spare time, he is looking into this. Also the funding. I don't know how fast all this will happen, but as soon as there is any amount of money coming in from even the first rental or community project, Cindy and I just discussed, we didn't figure out a percentage, but some percentage of that would go to Michael's office, so he would be able to help spread it all over.
I have a question for Stephen.
Go ahead.
Yep.
Well, how is this going to tie into contributionism?
Well,
or is it?
yeah. Well,
You said you have your own way of doing things, so
absolutely. Yeah, for sure. So at the moment, I work with a lot of people on farms, and, at one way of going about it is that sometimes we barter. We've had all the fruit and veggies completely given to us this year, which Norma made jams and pies and everything like that. And I go in and exchange hours of labor for them. So in that direction, for me, it is basically building business, and not some contributionism for sure, is that we all benefit from working together. So if anybody was to come into the area we could work together on many different levels, depending upon what their experience and their strong points are, what they like to do. So, and that could all be discussed, how we could work together. But still, in reality, we all have to pay our bills. So we are making money, and but we would like to do it with like-hearted people. Yeah.
The only reason I was asking you that is I just don't see how this can tie into one small town.
What I figured was that get people in here we could collectively own a farm, and then we could collectively own maybe another lot and have more B&Bs and have more, of course, the wine.
So you're depending on tourism.
Well, not just tourism, but tourism is definitely a part of it. For my B&B business, it mostly is tourism and travelers, but we have a construction company as well. So, and we have a whole lot of other things that we do. Norm is a seamstress, I'm an electrician, carpenter, whatever, and we're always creating new things. Like my company is Trivium Contracting and Shade Sales. We create and design shade sales. So, and again, it's to get other people who would like to work with us at that capacity. If they're an electrician, a carpenter, a plumber, we could all work together. And if we could do that, and we could own a farm, and we could do a whole bunch of different things together instead of just doing one thing, put your eggs in many baskets sort of thing.
Yeah, Stephen, it's Duncan talking.
Yeah.
I was wondering, it might be a good idea, although you say you do things your own way, for the one small town to take hold. And this is something to keep in mind is generally we're trying to get to the state where money is no longer a barrier, but we understand, you have to make money and to get things up and running. But for the one small town, one thing that's really important is to get the local leadership on side. And that might take a while because it's not something you're comfortable with. But let me just make a suggestion. You could try, because you have your own B&B and, like even create a meetup or something. If you're really familiar with the Ubuntu, contributionism book or Michael Tellinger's episodes on Gaia TV, something like that, have some people over and have some discussions about it. And eventually maybe somebody will know, because it's a small place, somebody will know somebody in the leadership and try and filter that way. Because otherwise it's going to be a real battle, I'm afraid. Because if you just do things on your own, then they'll find a way to shut you down.
Yeah, well, that's why what I'm saying is to get others involved who share the dream, who would, for me, this is just one of the most beautiful places. I lived all over the world in amazing places. And, I personally don't want to go to any rural place and start from scratch, personally. So right here, there's the farms already in play. There's business in play. There's tourists in play. It's all here. So you could come, settle in, and develop it that way. That was my idea, because I'm here and I'm just telling anybody else who wants to come, see if it looks like something they want to be a part of and work with me or do their own thing, whatever. I just wanted to put it out there that this is something that is just really, there's so much opportunity. I wanted to let others know that this is a place that things can happen. It is happening for me and my partner, and there's a lot of like-minded people. Mm-hmm. And we talk to them constantly through my business, with the construction and my Airbnb. I'm very vocal and I'm very outspoken on that. So, yeah, so that's my way of doing things my way. Yep.
Can I say one quick thing? I guess these questions are coming. Carmen and Duncan, and I'm not sure somebody's doing a lot of background noise.
Yeah. Can you guys please check your microphones and, okay, Marilyn?
Okay, thanks.
All right.
Carmen and Duncan, right at the beginnings of our meetings, which, you're newer, One of our prerequisites to make sure we're all on the same page is that we read the book, Michael's book, Contributionism. Now, for those who maybe can't get the reading, they've done hours and hours and hours of listening to the videos to fully understand what Michael is talking about and how it is different. So I would encourage you, if you haven't read that yet, read his book, because he does define so many of the differences, because it sounds like you have a gold mine there, and it would be just awesome to that we as this management team for Canada, that we're all on the same page, that we fully and completely understand where Michael's coming from. And because he's done the whole barter trade thing, he's done all of that. He's seen the self-sustaining communities, and they haven't been able to survive. So we'd want to make sure, because that sounds like such an incredible opportunity to make sure that it would thrive when it began. And so in order for that to happen, we all have to be on the same page and understanding how one small town really works, right? So that's my concern, because otherwise it become another beautiful self-sustaining community on its own, right? So anyway, have you read the book, Stephen?
I have. Yes, I have.
Okay, perfect. That's perfect. Good. Okay. Yeah. And then from there, we're on the same page, and then it can build, right? One piece can be added on top of the other. So, okay, that's my thing.
Thank you, Marilyn. No, I think what you said it brilliantly, and it's a good reminder that we want to make sure that we're all approaching this from the same place. And sometimes our excitement can take us in different ways. And you never want to let any type of opportunity go past, but I also want to make sure that it's feasible. And I mean, I'll look at this city. I'm not familiar with it, but you've sent us some web links, and now I know the name of it. So as a team, we can look at it as well to see if there's some potential there. But I mean, we'll only know about these great places if people tell us. So it's always nice to hear people bringing up the place that they live or somewhere they've been as well. Anyone else?
John, did you want to say something about Nova Scotia at all?
Yeah, the reason I was thinking about Nova Scotia so much is that I lived there for 30 years, and the community is already living half in one world and half in the other. And I don't think it would take too much of a push or even too much convincing to have them come aboard, because it's been like that for 30, 40 years or longer from what I remember. Like, I'm only 59, so, and I'm sure that it's been like that generations before. So I hear these other ideas, and they sound like they're a little bit more on the capitalist side. And that's the conception that I get. And I realize that, it would make a great place and in British Columbia, but I've never seen anything really except for Tofino, which is a little, hippie camp, really take off there. So I think that our concentration should be in Nova Scotia or someplace in Ontario, but it has to meet the demographics. It has to meet a certain number of people, and the willingness has to be there. And I think until we reach that point, we're just going to have to keep looking. I guess that's the way I try to explain it. But I think the target program should be in Nova Scotia, New Brunswick, or even Prince Edward Island.
Because one thing, Stephen, just to fill you in a little bit more on the one small town, is the places that have been discussed globally, well, more in Brazil and in the States, the ones that have are still kind of on the edge but not quite there yet. And the ones that they're working on in Brazil and the ones that Michael tried to start in South Africa, they all had one thing in common, and that is that there is something wanting. There are people suffering that are really grasping at straws to make ends meet, to be happy, because there's huge unemployment, or there's businesses that have left town or something like that. That's where something like contributionism and one small town strategy really makes a lot of sense to catch on quick, because you have people that are looking for a better way to live. If they're already living well, it's tough to, try and introduce that strategy to them. But again, anyway, it's food for thought. Never say never. You never know. But I'm just thinking, there's places in Ontario similar to where David's at, but again, the population is not quite there. But you don't know, it might work. And because of the wealth and depth of agriculture and so on in BC, maybe. But I'm just thinking that the areas that seem to be ripe are where places or people are really looking for a better life for the whole community, and they have a real hunger for that. So I'll just leave you with that.
Yeah.
Can I address the last three comments?
Yeah, go ahead.
No, Michael, that's just a number he's worked with from all the research, and this is my perspective. This is not fact. From all the research I've done, all the videos I've seen, everything I've read, 5,000 is a nice, round, easy number to do calculations from. There is no set in stone formula for how this is going to work. The only thing that we know that will make it easier is having a mayor and council that is on your side, because he's tried it the other way. He's tried to get elected on many formats, and it hasn't worked for him. I think Suzanne is bang on when yes, it is a wonderful guideline he has laid out. 95% of it is probably going to be exactly how it works. But if we limit ourselves, if we don't have an open mindset, we're going to limit ourselves right out of the opportunities that are presenting themselves right to us. I accidentally contacted the wrong mayor, and it's not an accident. It's exactly who I was supposed to be talking to. And I don't know if this is where it's going to happen. Yes, it doesn't have the population that people are thinking that you need to start it. But getting 5,000 people on board, in Michael's book, he says you need to get only 20% of the population of a town of 5,000.
That's why it's 5,000. Because you need that workforce. You need that free labor. You need that many people to make it happen. I think that's probably why. But let's see how he answers your business, and then we'll have a way forward.
I don't want to interject, and I could be wrong. I think maybe what David was about to say, which is that I don't think he actually says 5,000. I think it's 4,000 to 7,000, like a range.
Yeah.
And David's right, 20%, which would give you around 800 to 1,400 people as like a good amount of people to work with. But if you could find a town of only 2,000 or 3,000 and everyone wanted to be a part of it, you'd have your workforce.
And that's what we think we have. This mayor was not elected by accident. The people didn't vote for him because they were playing a practical joke. This man has always represented not contributionism, but the mindset of something like this, the promise to bring something like this to the municipality of North Frontenac. And that's the Earthships is a bonus. I just emailed Carmen and Duncan the picture from Michael Tellinger's book of his community design. It needs growth. I feel like people are still mixing in the Earthship new construction with contributionism in a way that this is a self-sustaining community, and contributionism is a side effect. That's not what's happening here at all. They want contributionism. These people are desperate. Many of us live in Ontario. Not many of us on this call live in rural Ontario. People are being driven out of their homes because of electricity costs. The first promise of the Ubuntu Party is to provide free electricity for all those that participate. We have that population yearning for this change, and the demographics are age 40 to 80 is 70 or 75% of the population. Those are the skills that we've lost, that the youth don't have anymore. They have the farms, they have the gardening experience, they have the mines, they have the businesses, and going from business to business is actually what I've started working on in conjunction with the presentation to the meetup group.
Great.
Yeah, thank you for specifying. I think, you know, oftentimes when there's holes, it's hard to really understand what the vision is. But I look forward to reading through everything that I got today just to get a better idea. I think I have a better idea of where it's going, so I appreciate the read through as well.
I know it's hard. Yeah, you're not at, I know everybody else isn't at our meeting that's 2-3 hours long every week. So we are really involved. We've seen the process unfold, and everybody's just getting, you know, glimpses and snippets of what we're doing, but it is absolutely contributionism that we were after. We're simply allowing a new development with new technology that doesn't need all the infrastructure of the old buildings. With a new system of contributionism, you're going to need new community designs, new buildings, a whole new setup, not the put 10,000 houses as close together as we can on lots as small as possible and hook them all up to the grid. That kind of design's not going to work anymore. And yes, the existing communities are valuable. They do have infrastructure and businesses, but we're still going to need to expand.
No, for sure. And am I right to assume, like, when you're talking about the circle, you're creating kind of a central location for things, but anyone who lives outside of it would just be able to kind of commute in to participate, but still live outside of it. Is that correct?
Yeah, I don't know how easy it is for you to bring up something on the screen for us. I thought maybe you could. Michael Tellinger's picture is a great description or a great visual to help us understand, but it's a certain shape that contains every geometric shape. That's what I base the community off of. And it is a circle with 6 circles surrounding it. So the middle circle is the community dining hall, small businesses, small living quarters, and it expands to the other 6 circles around it. And within those 6 circles are 4 community projects with about a dozen houses around each of them. So if you have all the woodworking in one circle and a dozen people living around it, they would be right across the beautiful street from working in their wood mill or carpentry factory or CNC machine, and each circle would have its own designation for what community projects are there, and people could live much closer to what they want to work on. And until I saw that in Michael's book today, I thought maybe that might actually turn him off, the idea of circles and a central design like this. But if you repeat this pattern, which he's appeared to do in the book, it's a beautiful system. There's no traveling. You don't have to leave the community for work. You hardly have to touch your car. It would probably turn into shared vehicles within the community that anybody just takes whenever they want.
Yeah, like those zip cars in Toronto.
Exactly. People, if you're not driving to Ottawa, wherever you are, if you're not driving in half an hour, 45 minutes, an hour to work every day, 2 hours to work every day in rush hour traffic, we all know it would completely change your mindset, which is why I thought of this circular central design with the main, food preparation and everything that you would want in the center, and then the homes around each of these community projects, or 4 community projects for each circle.
Yeah, it sounds very similar to Jacques Fresco's circular designs that he uses. Are you familiar with Jacques Fresco and the Venus Project?
I'm not familiar. I know what the Venus Project is. I'm not familiar with any of their work. It's too shiny. Just for me personally, I would prefer an earthship with the land, in the trees, with as much nature as around me as possible. And they do a good job, but huge buildings out of the earth is not something that's ever interested me.
Well, I'm not really referring to the buildings themselves, but you might but they speak similar to what you're saying, where like what's in the center and then how you slowly move out. So it's all in a circle, people live kind of on the outskirts, and then based on the need for things, they become more centralized. It's a very functioning way of doing things.
Yes, and this is a repetitive pattern, so you wouldn't just keep adding more circles outside. This grid would be a whole nother grid that attaches to that grid and a whole nother one. So you always have the central one with the businesses and homes around it. So you're never, in Toronto, you're not driving from anywhere in the GTA to downtown Toronto because all the businesses are located an hour from you. It makes no sense, but Cindy actually said it seems like me and John are accessing, or me and Michael are accessing the same community layout. I honestly had no idea that he had drawn or come up with anything like this, or that he would have an Earthship in his book. It blew my mind to find that out today.
Yeah, it's actually a very functional design that many people use, which I think just gives it credit, right? That a lot of different engineers have come up with the same circular design. So it's encouraging.
It makes sense after spending 17 years in the normal construction industry where they just jam everything together as tight as possible, which makes no sense to me. This makes sense. The circle is the most efficient shape that we have.
Yeah, agreed.
Thank you.
Where we have got comments here. Well, I think we should probably start wrapping up, unless anyone else had something they would like to mention quickly.
Yeah, one more question. You don't have to be in the community to participate in contributionism. I actually don't care if you come from Vodobun, Forfin, or wherever Michael's from. If you do your 3 hours a week, you get all the benefits of what's happening with all the businesses in the municipality and the new development. I don't care if you drive from Ottawa, Toronto, Peterborough, Calgary, where you come from. If you do your 3 hours a week, it's an inclusive system. That's why sustainable communities haven't worked, because they are exclusive. And I used to envision that as a way to move forward. But now that I see contributionism, it doesn't matter where you come from. It doesn't matter where you live. If you participate your 3 hours, you reap the benefits.
All right. Yay. Okay, so just some final things. So our next meeting will be March 12th at 8:30. Ubuntu USA will be at 7. Hopefully we can actually listen to it this time. I'm not sure what the problem was, if it was a network issue, or I noticed that they were trying to live stream for the first time, so maybe that was part of the issue, but hopefully they have that fixed for next month. We will send the link to their replay video so everyone can listen to it if you're interested. Just some of our general contact information if anyone wants to get in touch with us, give us some more ideas. And then finally, just some media links. The first one is our YouTube channel, so that's where all the meetings will be uploaded to. USA has a video channel, Michael Tillinger has a video channel, so all different things that we can go and listen to and learn what's going on around the world. And that's it. We've reached the end. Thanks so much for everyone for coming out. Duncan, do you want to say anything?
No. David, just let me know if you're able to arrange that next week and maybe we can get together.
I have arranged it.
Okay, awesome.
Yes, so anytime after 9:30.
Okay, that's great. I'll be in touch.
Thank you, both of you, for doing everything you're doing. It's the only reason we're even all sitting here talking. Thank you both.
Greatly appreciated. Okay, everyone, have a great month, and we'll keep you in the loop if anything new transpires.
Thank you, guys.
Okay, take care.
Bye.